I have the top cut down with a 1.5 guard closed with the grain. I set in my first area using my liners, and then I foil shave it to make sure it's extra bald. Now with my lever open, I start my second area. Making the area on the smaller side, it's about 3/4 of an inch. Because the whole goal in this drop fade, which refers to how the bald drops down in the back, the whole purpose of that is to show more of his waves. So you don't want to make as big areas as you may do on a regular mid fade. Now after I got my second area done, I start my third one with my lever open with my one guard. Always be mindful of the client's ear. I hold it down even sometimes when it's probably not needed, just because once you cut someone's ear, that's a bad feeling. I know I felt bad when I did it, especially when you're using detachable blades. Always cover the ear, and on kids too, because they move. All right, the one guard lever open is pretty much finished. I'm just fine tuning it because he's got some different growth pattern on the side. Now I have my two guard lever open, and I'm taking this area up to approximately the perennial ridge, the hat line area, and flicking out as I do so. Now I'm doing this is a large area that I'm creating because it's really not taking much down. It's just a transition area more so. And to complete the transition from the one guard open to the two guard open, I'm going to start with my 1.5 guard. Lever all the way open, I go 3/4 of the way into my two guard area. I close it one notch. I drop down to about the halfway mark of my two guard area. I close it one more notch. I drop down to about the quarter height of the two guard area. And then I close it all the way, and I'm finishing off the connection between the one guard and the two guard areas. This is called cycling through my lever positions. Now I'm just using the one guard and adjusting the lever as needed with the grain to finish that transition into the top, fine tuning any dark spots. I'm coming in with the corner of my clipper blades to fine tune more areas. Now I have my half guard on, and I'm going to cycle through the lever positions again. You'll see me do it like this sometimes, where I just hit like a 4-inch wide section and I cycle through all my lever positions within that section, and then I move on to the right to my next 4-inch wide section and run through the lever positions again. Sometimes people like to do it like a typewriter. They'll come in with the lever open, go 3/4 of the way into the area, all the way around the whole head. Then they'll drop down the halfway mark in this area, close it one more notch, go all the way around, and keep doing that throughout the whole cycle. I like to break it up into these 4-inch wide sections because it allows me to adjust as needed. Every area on the head grows different. You're going to have different textures sometimes on the same client. You'll have different growth patterns on different sides. So by breaking it up into these 4-inch wide sections, it just allows me to cycle through with less second guessing, I would say. And after I finished that area connection, I seen some other flaws kind of jumped out at me, so I'm just hitting them while I got the time. Using a comb all the time when I'm above the one guard or at the one guard and above. Just controls the hair better. When I'm cutting below the one guard length, I can use a brush. It helps clear the canvas better also. And now in this area, we begin our cycling through the lever positions with it halfway open. We're going 3/4 of the way into the area, closing it one notch, dropping down to halfway, closing it another notch, dropping it down a quarter of the way. Then we're going to close it all the way to complete this transition from bald into the hair. When you get used to doing things in the same exact order on every single haircut, you're able to kind of take your time because you're actually still going to be moving faster than you were if you were bouncing around and doing things differently. That was something a senior barber corrected me on early in my career. He noticed throughout the haircut I was bouncing around too much. You need to stick to the same exact program. And again, with the side of my clipper blades, I'm fine tuning those dark areas. And I like to use all the tools in my arsenal. You'll see me use thinning shears and a razor comb very often. And beginning in the center, after I already got my temple lines established and I'm working towards my highest side. In order to make the line straight, you're going to have to bring the other side up to the highest side anyway. So it's best to start on the highest side so you have an existing reference point right in your face. You know now what to do on the other side. You just match it to his highest side. And that's all I'm doing now. Nice, clean, basic line. See, that blend's pretty much good to go. So is his line before even fine tuning it. So I like to hit the strays ahead of the razor because sometimes the steam towel after the razor stands up a bunch of hairs that don't need to be trimmed. So this is all just looking ahead, prepping for the pomade that comes in the future. All right, now remember I have my natural established line I did with my bulk remover clippers. Excuse me, my liners, which are meant for kids in delicate areas, just getting that initial hair out of my way. And I have shave gel applied, and I'm running over his beard line now, and I'm combing that product out of the way, making sure that I got a nice line and row of hairs, and it's not just an illusion of caked up product. You could trick people, or you could actually do what you're appearing to do. You know, sometimes people use an ash line to create a line. If you comb it away and the line looks gapped, that's a failed attempt at what you're trying to do. And now we started on the lower side of the beard because that's as high as it could be. If you want the sides to match, you got to start with the lower side, and you go to your higher side, drop it down some on your beard. Asking the client to stretch his top lip while I get the area right next to a nose. Steam towel, removing all that, helping with irritation, going around the whole area that I balled out in the blend, and removing all the holding spray that I used in my lineup prep. Nobody wants that sitting on their skin or their hair, even if it helps with the ash line later. We're not going to risk giving a client pimples or bumps just to get a nice ash line for the cameras. Witch hazel alcohol mix, and to help it dry it out, I got a clean wash rag with baby powder in there. Then I comb the hairs over and hit the strays before applying my pomade, brushing it with a soft bristle brush, patting it down with the hand after. Being sure to brush evenly all over so it's laid down nice and even. And just smearing the hairs down. Before I put a do-rag on the top, I put the stocking cap on and I pull from the front and the back of the do-rag to make sure there's no slack in there. Then I flip it and tie it up. I'm big on time management. We're doing a lot of things to these clients as a detail barber. So you got to make sure that while the pomade is drying up top, we're doing the beard. While my foam is drying earlier in the cut, I put a line on the beard. So we're never just sitting still. We're always bouncing around and doing things while we're waiting on other stuff. Tilting the client back and hitting these strays after you've completed your beard trim is vital. Makes it look perfect. Right now we're just throwing a little semi-permanent dye. If you follow these steps, you can get the same exact results.